Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. We want to update the breaking news we've been following pretty much all late morning into the afternoon. We're talking about this. This is a live picture of a home in Akron on Kenilworth Drive. This was an early morning scene with the U.S. Marshals trying to serve a search warrant for a man. That turned into a standoff that then, as you can see, turned into a fire. We're not exactly sure how that fire started. Investigators are still looking into that. There was a man inside. That's who was barricaded inside. There was even word that there was a child inside, perhaps a 4-year-old special needs child. I'm going to show you some video here of the child being taken out, we believe, by the mother. This was much earlier today. Around noon, maybe a little after noon, that child appeared to be in good health. They weren't rushing it to the paramedics. We're not exactly sure yet at this point how that child got out, but that appears to be the child's mother, and it is covered in that blanket to try and keep warm. Again, looking back live, we're now going to bring in our Catherine Huntley into this situation. She is reporting on this. Catherine, you were just able to speak with a representative from the Akron Police Department, the lieutenant there. Not a lot of new information, but the big question is the man that was on the inside of the standoff, where is he? Has he been taken into custody, or do we know?
Yeah, you're right, Dan. That's the big question, and they are still looking for him. Now, this all started at around 7 a.m. this morning. I was speaking with the family. They told me it happened around 7 a.m., right before kids were about to be going to school. But this man that they've been looking for all day, after this fire, they had to clear the building, obviously, put out any hot spots, but they are currently searching for him. Now, Akron police just told us that it could be up to 2 hours, at least a couple hours before we know what happened to this man, if he's even still alive, if he's injured, or if he has passed away. So right now they're looking for that. The scene has become less active, still a pretty active scene. Lots of people here. It was U.S. Marshals, Akron Police, and Akron Fire. But the scene is starting to calm down as the arson investigators are going inside. Now, another question here is exactly how did this fire start? That is what they're trying to figure out right now. The family was concerned it was because the police department had to sent something in there, which the police department told us was some sort of chemical similar to tear gas to hopefully get the man out of the house. But the police department said that that is not flammable. So at this point, they still do not know what started the fire as well. But I mean, really a long scene today. These people have been out here a very long time trying to find out. Now, some good news is the child, which we actually just heard from the family, is 3 years old, is okay. Akron police said that the child actually was able to come out of the house and, become safe out of the house before the fire started. So I don't believe that the child was exposed to any of that. But like I said, right now they're just trying to get some sort of conclusion to this long active scene and figure out where this man is. But they did say, the marshals did say, and Akron police just said that they don't believe there was any way for him to escape from the building. So right now they're digging through all of that burnt out ash and rubble to just figure out exactly where he is. So that's what we have for now. We'll be here all afternoon and hopefully be able to bring you some sort of conclusion in a little bit.
Interesting side on that for them to say they're not sure if perhaps he is deceased inside that home because of the fire, but they don't think he escaped from there. Very interesting. And then you've got that home that now you're going to have arson investigators looking at it, as well as potential homicide investigators looking at it. Catherine Huntley, we certainly appreciate the update. Thanks for joining us. We're going to wrap up our update here. Again, the Akron standoff situation, still a lot more questions. Again, where is the man that had the SWAT situation in Akron? Again, this is on Kenilworth Drive. U.S. Marshals were sent there to make an arrest. They had an arrest warrant. That turns into a standoff. We've seen that happen several times. What we don't see often is that there was a 3-year-old child, the health of a 3-year-old child inside that home in question. And so that became an issue. It does sound like the Akron SWAT team used some sort of tear gas or some sort of chemical to try and get this to a resumed or an end situation. And family wondering if that started the fire. But you heard Catherine Huntley. She had just spoken to the public information officer, the lieutenant for Akron, who said what the Akron SWAT team used, that chemical is not flammable. It's not a flashbang. And so they're not sure what started the fire. Was it potentially the man that was held up in the home started the fire? And again, where is the suspect at the center of this? The man they were trying to serve that search warrant on. Is he deceased in the home? You heard Catherine Huntley say that SWAT does not believe he would have been able to escape or run, but that is obviously not out of the question. So we'll just have to wait for an update. And as you heard, it could be a couple of more hours. They're going to need to get investigators to go in there fully. The fire department in a situation like this wouldn't just march into that house because it is potentially a crime scene, and a major investigation is going to have to ensue. We will make sure we have a complete update on this when we start 3.5 hours of news and First Alert weather at 3 o'clock on Channel 19. Otherwise, any new information, if we get a news conference, a press update, we'll bring that to you here on our digital property. So for now, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.